Ahoy hoy shed friends, welcome to another stupid motorbike video.
Oh no! Woo! Would you believe in that crash I dented my horn. Still works though.
Okay, so we may have lost track where we're up to with this whole Cafe Racer project due to the tangential mess and distraction that was getting the blue bike up and running somewhat pretty schmick with the 490 top end. Last we left the Cafe Racer project was we'd repaired the case and we had machined the old 465 head and ready to put all that together onto the project bike bottom end. A lot of this video was filmed during episode 6 and 6.5, which was concentrating on that bike, so some of this might feel a bit weird and disjointed and disorientating, but that is the chaos caused by me having no idea what I'm doing. Yeah, anyway, now we should be refreshed on where the Cafe Racer bike, the actual bike, progress is up to. We should be somewhat familiar. It's time to finish building the mock-up engine. Just installing the IT465 top end here from the old blue bike. Quick little squish measurement to make sure we're sweet. Making up some gaskets for the intake side here. Fitting up the leak down tester. Unfortunately it leaked around the intake, so I made up a second gasket and that fixed it up. All leak down tester ready installed. Oh, you better bloody believe it's time for another leak down test. Right, so the mock-up engine now pulls about 4 psi loss in about 8 minutes. Check the crank seals and they seem pretty good. Obviously they're not brand new because they're in from an unknown engine. I don't know their exact condition, but they seem to be holding pretty good and no obvious leaks. Nothing makes me want to actually change them. Also consider that when the blue bike was running, and it was running fine, it was originally losing the same pressure in 3 minutes. So I feel like we've got a pretty good improvement here and well within tolerance for what we're trying to achieve. You've got to remember this engine is just a mock-up engine. It's not the final engine for this bike. It's just an engine to put in the bike and, you know, play around, get it working. Then we'll build one of the other engines I've got here, or that same engine, and we'll make a good motor. We also need to consider that the 3D printed leak down testing stuff that I've got leaks a little bit still because, you know, 3D printing and whatnot. So there is an extra bit of that loss is just in my dumb tooling. We'll make better ones later. For now, they certainly do the job to find leaks, which is yeah, what they're good for. Anyway, all of that, I'm pretty happy with where we're at with this whole mock-up engine, so it's time to throw a clutch in it and throw a kicker in it, and then happy days. So on the left we have the clutch plates that I have in all my motors. They have 12 tabs. On the right we have clutch plates that are the same as all the clutch kits I have bought. I think I've got 3 or 4 of them now. 12, 16. All the ID, OD, all the same. Just different number of fingers, tabs, whatever you want to call them. I wonder, does a late model YZWR 490 500 have a different clutch assembly to the earlier models? I'm not sure. Even one of these clutch kits I bought, I know it was specifically for an IT490. Still had the 16 tabs. The springs are right and the steel discs are right, so yeah, I don't know what the difference is. I'll have to do some more internet searching, I think. There are two types of nerds. I am both. Okay, so interestingly, I have done a bit more inspecting on this clutch basket, and look at this. There's a little gap here and there's a bunch of peeled out metal. So this little gear here has been heavily spun in this clutch plate. That is no good. So I dug out another clutch basket I had around, one out of an IT490, the original IT490, the Cafe Racer motor. And I noticed something as well. This one, that's how it's supposed to look. That's normal. Now, I have noticed the problem. 12 fingers, 16 fingers. So it turns out I lied when I said I didn't have any clutch plates, friction plates, with 16 fingers, and thought maybe they were off a later model bike. No, it turns out 23X. So, wait a minute, 23X? That's not IT490. That's YZ490. So, I was getting confused with 23X and 23A, or is it 24A? Oh, I have already forgotten. 26A. 26A? Yeah, 26A. That's where I'm getting confused. 23X, so YZ490, 83, and probably onwards. YZ490. That's where the difference is. But this came out of my IT490. So it means somewhere I do have some 16 fingered friction plates, but I don't know where they were or are. I thought I had them in one of these boxes and never found them, so all I've been able to find is the 12s. So it turns out I can use some of those new friction plates in this. Yeah. Oh, looks like this has had a little bit of a hard life too at some point, but it's better than the one that came out of this bike. So here is a spare IT490 clutch. Oh, now interestingly, this one has had that problem start to happen. So that's unfortunate. So two things to note here. Firstly, I was confused in the numbering because here in Australia IT490s are 29W, not 26A. So those numbers always throw me out. The other reason why I had to go and grab another clutch basket to throw on is because that YZ clutch basket has a straight cut pinion to ball gear. And I've already installed a helical pinion gear onto the crank of this one. So yeah, I had to get another clutch basket one with a helical gear on it. Just finishing up, getting ready to throw the case on. Unfortunately, there's a little issue with the kicker here where it's binding up. So I need to pull that apart and have a look at why. So the culprit for the case not fitting properly was that little Delrin little spacer thing in there that was impacting, locking the shaft up. So I had one that was like a millimeter shorter that may have come out of any of the bikes that I had. Who knows which particular one. Popped that in there. And also, stupid me, when I was building it, I didn't adjust the clutch. I didn't adjust the clutch. So I'm going to adjust the clutch, and then I'm going to put the case on, and then I should be done. So that engine is now assembled. Would you bloody believe it? all these detours are finally done and we have an engine ready to go into the Cafe Racer bike, which means we get to get that bike out of underneath all that rubbish. Yeah. Well, what do we got here? Righto everyone, so this is the fabled IT490 that this whole project is supposed to be about. We have finally got it out from buried underneath all that junk. It is here. It is ready to be started working on. So a long time ago I stripped it, had the engine fully disassembled to rebuild the engine, and then I was going to start building this. Now that we have a demo mock-up engine to get this thing started, it's time to actually sculpt this thing into whatever it is my brain thinks looks somewhat cool. Unfortunately, I didn't really do a good job cleaning it before I pulled it apart, because you know that was a me that was, you know, early 30s, late 20s sort of thing. That was a different me. So yeah, the bike's a mess. Also, it's very dusty from sitting around. So we'll probably have to give it a clean, which is pretty easy to do. One thing you'll notice is they are not standard IT forks. So a long time ago, I had bought a set of 2001 WR250F forks. I mean, like, it literally says it right there. And fitted them up. It was pretty easy to fit. I had to put this machine up this little spacer thing there, which I'll play around with and get that a little bit different. But otherwise, yeah, we made them fit pretty good. Yeah, that's about as far as I got, was a different front end, because the front end that was on this, which, I mean, in hindsight probably turns out it was an IT200 disc brake front end, but I didn't know, and I was young, and I don't even remember what I did with them. I probably threw them out because they were actually pretty junk. There was a whole heap wrong with that old front end, so I got a new front end. Yeah, here it sits, ready to have some stuff done to it. One of the first things we're going to do is we're going to put on this set of 17-inch motard wheels that I bought for a really good price. I eyeballed these because they had the gold and silver, and I thought, well, you know what would go well with either the typical yellow and black Yamaha vintage look is gold wheels. The other thing that would look good is if I kept it IT colours, blue and yellow. Blue and yellow and gold, that'd also look pretty good. So either way, no matter which way I go about painting this thing up, the gold wheels are going to look schmick. So I feel like fitting them up first will be a good start to really eyeball how this machine's going to end up. Unfortunately, that WRYZ rear wheel over there won't be a straight bolt into this, so we're going to have to do some pretty cool stuff to make that fit and make it a disc brake rear end. Also, so this is a 2001 WR250 front end, which doesn't share much in common with many other Yamaha front wheels. So I think this fits a 2005 WR250 front, so I don't even know that it's going to fit, but one cool thing I'm really good at is I just get stuff done. So we're going to make both of these wheels fit this bike, and we'll probably do that even before we throw the motor in, because yeah, I feel like it's just going to be the best place to start to really get the looks, because that's what we're aiming for with all of this. We want to get the looks done. It's all about getting it aesthetically correct and then turn it into a wild bit of gear. So just so we can get a bit of a rough idea of styling as well, this here tank and seat combo, I kind of like what I want to do. The seat is not going to be on there. It's just a 81, 82, 465 IT seat. The tank is a Chinese tank. Neither of them fit correctly. We're going to make our own tank, but it's just to kind of show the sort of style we're going to go with. Also, one thing I should show is in here is this little headlight surround that I made up for some LED headlightage a long time ago. I somehow, I don't know how, but I made this really cool fiberglass headlight holder, which, yeah, amazes me that I was able to do that 10 years ago, because I was hopeless. Like, I was really terrible at doing things a long time ago. Anyway, turns out I did a cool fiberglass job of something once upon a time. Yeah, anyway, it's a good start to seeing the bike start to take shape. Vape. Have I taken up some kind of weird smoking hobby, or is this some kind of new part that needs unboxing? Let's do a little bit of an unboxing here. Let's find out what vape is all about. Let's try and do this one-handed. Try and cut the box open one-handed. What's in the box? What's in the box? Classic movie, that. And if you haven't seen it and you don't mind a little bit of scary movie stuff, don't mind staring at Brad Pitt. Oh no, it's another box. It's a vape box. Okay, I'm gonna have to put boom. Alright, one box down. Another vape box. What's in the box? Yeah, where was I at? Brad Pitt, yeah. Watch that movie. 7. It's a good movie. I don't want to spoil it for you, but what's in the box? Alright. Haha. Alright, is there another box in here? If you already know what vape is, other than, you know, smoking stuff, you know, I've probably just wasted minutes of your life, and I apologize. But if you don't know what vape is, I don't know if you can read that, but it says generator ignition for Yamaha YZ 465 490 Yamaha IT 250 1983. Ooh, output 12 watts, 180 watts DC. Yeah, so it's an ignition and lighting, because we want some cool stuff to happen with this bike. So that's a box full of cool stuff. Yeah, that's what's in the box. So another thing we'll have to do before we put this engine into the bike, I swear I'm going to fix that chair one day, is we're going to put this ignition set into that motor. So that's another step we've got to do. Yeah, should be pretty fun, should be pretty cool. Alright, let's see if we can do something about these goddamn squeaky chairs and their goddamn squeakiness. I don't know if this will fix it, or I don't know where the squeak is. Ooh, that does feel not bad. Yeah. Wonder how that goes. Or maybe we need to bounce it a bit. I think we've fixed it. We might have a solution to the squeaky chair here. See what happens when we lower ourselves down. Ooh, we're lower. Way, wee. Oh, I'm getting dizzy. Oh, getting real dizzy. Yeah, I think we fixed the chair, finally. The squeaks should have come to an end. So, I reckon that should just about do us again for this episode. Didn't really achieve much. We got the bike out. We've got an engine almost, very almost ready to go into said motorbike. I think things are going to start getting a bit more fun in the next episode, because we're going to be doing this bike. We're going to make all sorts of cool stuff happen. or it's just going to be a massive failure and I'll just have this weird looking monstrosity on my hands. And anyway, happy days, turn it back into a dirt bike, pretend this never happened. But until all of that, I will see you next time. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.